Welcome to Shield Check, a DC20 series covering class and subclass breakdowns in under 10 minutes. On today's episode of Shield Check, we'll be discussing the monk and monk subclasses. Monks have become enlightened and in touch with their inner key energy, honing their bodies and minds. Their combat training gives them access to weapons and light armor. This is the character progression chart for a monk from levels 1 through 10. Level 1 class features give access to monk training, granting Iron Palm. Your limbs are considered natural weapons with the impact property that deal 1 bludgeoning damage. And Patient Defense. While not wearing armor, you gain +2 point defense. As well as Step of the Wind. When not wearing armor, you gain +1 to speed and +1 to jump distance. You can move spaces up to your speed along vertical surfaces and across liquids without falling during your movement. And you can use your prime modifier instead of agility to determine your jump distance and the damage you take from falling. Also, the flavor feature, Meditation. Entering a state of meditation, during a short rest, you can choose Charisma or Intelligence. Once you complete the rest, your skill mastery level increases by 1 for the chosen skill, until you complete another short or long rest. While meditating, you also remain alert to danger. Additionally, you get access to monk stances. In combat, at the start of your turn, you can freely enter or swap into one of your monk stances. You can also spend 1 stamina point on your turn to swap to a different stance. And you can end your stance at any moment for free, and you can only be in 1 monk stance at a time. Level 2 class features gives you access to Spiritual Balance, granting key points. You have a maximum number of key points equal to your stamina points. When your stamina point maximum increases, so does your key point maximum. You can regain key when you spend a stamina point on your turn. You also regain all key points when combat ends, and while out of combat, any key points you spend replenish immediately. For key actions, you can spend 1 key point at any time to perform one of the following activities. Deflect Attack. When a creature misses you with a ranged attack using a physical projectile that targets your point defense, you can catch that projectile with a free hand, immediately redirecting the attack as part of the same action at a different creature you can see within 5 spaces. Make an attack check against the new target. On a hit, the target takes the projectile's normal damage. Also, Slow Fall. Reduce damage you take from falling by an amount equal to your level. And Uncanny Dodge. When a creature makes an attack against you, you can impose disadvantage on the attack. You also get access to 1 talent point. At level 3, you get access to the monk subclasses, the first of which is Astral Self. Should you choose Astral Self, you gain access to Astral Awakening. Astral Damage. When you gain this feature, you choose a mystical damage type that becomes your astral damage. By spending 1 action point and 1 stamina point during combat, you manifest a portion of your astral self for 1 minute that has the following benefits. Astral Arms. Manifest 2 astral arms that can only be used to make unarmed strikes. They cannot otherwise interact with creatures or objects. Attacks made using these arms have the reach property. They deal astral damage instead of normal damage, and they can target either point defense or area defense. Also, Astral Deflection. You can use your Deflect Attack on ranged attacks that miss any target within 2 spaces. Your astral self can end early, should you choose to, fall unconscious, or die. You also get access to the flavor feature, Astral Watch. While unconscious, your astral self remains aware of your surroundings. You can hold conversations with nearby creatures as if you were awake. While sleeping normally, you can choose to wake yourself up at any time. Or you can choose the subclass option Shifting Tide. Choosing Shifting Tide gives you access to Ebb and Flow. For Ebb, when you enter a new monk stance, you gain 2 spaces of movement. For Flow, when you use your Uncanny Dodge against a melee attack, you can spend 1 action point to make an opportunity attack against the attacker. And Changing Tides. You can use your Deflect Attack on melee martial attacks from large or smaller creatures. When you do, you can redirect the attack to another target within one space of you. Also get access to the flavor feature, Fluid Movement. You can move through spaces as if you were one size smaller. And if neither of those options fit your style, you can choose the Paragon Monk subclass. Should you choose the Paragon Monk subclass, you get access to one class talent which you can use in various ways. One of which being Expanded Stances. This requires Monk Stance. You gain 2 additional Monk Stances. You cannot use the same options as before, and once on each of your turns, you can enter a Monk Stance without spending stamina points. Or you can choose Steel Fist. This requires Monk Training and level 3. Your unarmed strikes deal 2 damage, but no longer have the impact property. Once on each of your turns, when you make a melee martial attack, you can spend 1 stamina point to immediately make an unarmed strike against a creature within range. This unarmed strike isn't subjected to the multi-check penalty and doesn't advance it. Or you could choose Internal Damage. This requires 1 or more monk features and level 3. When you make an unarmed strike, you can spend any amount of stamina points to cause the target to make a repeated physical save. On a failure, they become impaired for 1 minute. While impaired in this way, they take sonic damage at the start of each of their turns equal to the amount of stamina points spent. And as always, you get access to the flavor feature, Jack of One Trade, giving access to 1 trade point. And that wraps it up for the Monk and the Monk subclasses. We'll catch you next time on Shield Check, and until then, keep that shield wall strong.